What's going on, everybody? My name is Joe, and I am going to do a small, short series on just the really intro basics of playing the guitar. And now the first thing I like to tell people when they first start playing the guitar is you don't want to jump in and just doing chords. It's simple, it's easy, but you need to kind of understand some of it. And so that's what this video series is going to be about. So the first thing that I would like to go over with all of my students is just some basics about the body parts. So I suggest you learn the body parts. So we're going to go over a few things here: names of the strings, how to count the strings, the different parts of the guitar, and just noticing quality too, especially if you're going to buy a new guitar. We won't get too much into that for this video. This video is really going to be focused on how to tune your guitar, how to number the strings so that you can start reading tabs and kind of start teaching yourself, and then just kind of understanding the really, really simple basics of the language of guitar. So let's jump right in. So, first things first, we count our strings from the bottom, from thin to thick. So the thinnest string is going to be our first string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how we count our strings. Now when we tune our guitar, we go the opposite direction. It's going to be E, A, D, G, B, and E. And usually when I tune, I start from the top. Now there's all kinds of tuners out there you can get on the market. You can get them that stick here. You can get the headstock tuners that clip up here. I use my phone, and what I like to use is a simple app called Guitar Tabs. Let me see if I can't find this for you guys. So this is what it looks like, that top app up there. That's the emblem that you're going to see when you go to the App Store. You just click on that. It'll ask you a bunch of questions. You're going to go into My Tabs. You're going to click My Tabs, and there's going to be a tuner up there. So you want to click on that chromatic tuner, and it'll bring up some notes. Now, left or right is sharp or flat. We want our note to be right there in the middle. So, for example, let me get this over here close to the guitar. E. It's almost right there, perfect. You don't have to necessarily get it perfect with these tuners because, it's picking up all the vibrations, and then you get that peak, and then it starts to taper off. So sometimes, if you can just get it close to where it's hitting green, you're good to go. So once again, we're going to name our strings from thin to thick. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's for doing tabs. And then for tuning, we're going to go E, A, D, G, B, and E. You got 2 E's here. You might have heard somebody talking about singing when you're in church or when you were a kid, or maybe you're really into music, but octaves. So these two are an octave apart, actually 2 octaves. So that's the first thing I want to go over is how to tune the guitar, and then once I edit this video, I'll have that pop up so you guys can kind of see it. Now the next thing I want to go over is parts. So let's learn our parts. You guys already know the strings. Hopefully if you've already purchased a guitar, you've purchased a decent guitar, but this is going to be the fretboard. There's a brown thing here. These metal things are going to be the frets. Now they are numbered. They start at what's called the nut. This right here is your nut. It's what the strings go over. It's important that it's a certain kind of depth, but we don't have to get into that right now. That's for later as you get a little bit more technical. But this is going to be our first fret. So if I tell you that I want you to put your finger in the first fret, second string, you're going to count from the bottom up. 1, 2. That's going to be your B string. This is going to be your first fret, and you're going to put your first finger right there. And that's the beginnings of a chord. So these are metal bars right here are actually called our frets, and this is our fretboard. So as long as we're that side of the fret, you want to be kind of close to the fret when you start to fret the chord. You don't want to be way back here next to the nut or way back here next to the other fret. You want to be just kind of right there on the edge. That's how you get the best tone. Okay? So that's our fretboard. That's our nut. These are our frets. Now this is called the headstock. That is the top of the guitar where the tuning pegs are. Just a note about quality is you see the tuning pegs and they look like this. They're called nylon tuners. They're fully encased. These are a little nicer tuners. They'll make your life a little bit more simple, especially as you're learning how to play guitar. Your guitar will stay in tune a little better. So that's the top part of our guitar. And of course you've got the top. The tops are usually made out of something different. The tops matter because they help project the sound, and you'll get a different tone depending on what kind of top it is. You've also got, this is the sides guitar, and this is the back guitar. This is just a basic Yamaha guitar. That's going to be your strap button. This is going to be your neck. So these are just mahogany sides. There's your other strap button. This is called the bridge. When you're looking for guitars, if you haven't already purchased one, you want to kind of look and just make sure that that top is flat, the bridge is glued down solid, there's no rise or tilt to it. And this is called the saddle. This is where the strings go across right here so that they make their resonance. That matters too because of the distance of the strings from the fretboard. That has a lot to do with that. And the positioning of the bridge also matters too, but unless you're building guitars, you don't need to know that. This is going to be our pick guard, so we don't scratch up our guitar, and this is going to be our sound hole. So that's pretty much the basics of the different guitar parts, and that's pretty much the basics of tuning the guitar. Now, I kind of want to get into this lesson here, how to put your hand. So when you grip the neck, you want your thumb straight. I usually put mine in the middle. If I'm playing up close to the nut, I'll put it in the middle of the 2nd fret. And then you'll make kind of a C, which is ironic because I'm making a C chord. But you'll make kind of a C. You see how my hand's kind of in a C position? It comes out, it goes around, and I've got plenty of distance from my palm and the neck of the guitar to make sure that just the very tips of my finger are going to be on the actual string and playing the note. Now, as you start playing guitar, and we'll get into that a little further along, you want to make sure that you're playing, your fingers do this bend motion right here. Okay? You don't have to work on that. It'll kind of come naturally. But you just want the very, very tip of your finger to be real close to the bone on that string next to that fret. So that's going to be it for the day. Just a short video on how to tune and just some intro into basics. I'm going to do one of these a week. So if you're just starting out and you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I hope you like and share the video if this helps you tune your guitar and helps you know a little bit more about your guitar, especially if you're in the market to buy one. You guys can also email me directly, and then I'm going to put a link as we go a little further along in a book that I like to use to teach people how to read music and how to really understand their guitar. But we're going to get into a couple different things: scales, chords, learning and reading your notes. So I don't want any of my students just to start off and then jump right into tabs, because the more you understand about the guitar, the more you understand music, you can take this knowledge and you can transfer it to any instrument. Like, I can play pretty much anything with strings just because I understand how music works and how the fret system works. And you can just transfer that to banjo, to mandolin, to fiddle, violin, same thing. Cello, bass guitar, electric guitar. Electric guitar and acoustic guitar are technically the same, and we'll get into that a little later too. But I hope that helps you guys. If you got any questions, like I said, leave them in the comment section, and we'll be in touch. Thank you.